Alrighty, I think you'll be able to hear me better now. Welcome back to Anything But Hold'em. We are here tonight with HORSEplay Friday, playing the $1.10 horse. Now, we just finished busting out of the $3.30 horse that I spent a few hours playing this afternoon. But we are back now with another horse. This one runs at 7:10. So in about 2 minutes it starts. I believe there's 10 minutes to late reg. So if anybody is listening now and wants to jump in and play, they're certainly still available. We are on a 3-minute delay, so when you're hearing these words, it'll probably be just starting. But yeah, jump in and go. I'm calling this HORSEplay Friday just because we're playing a lot of horse. Seems to be a good name for me. Since I busted the earlier tournament, called this one "Getting Back on the Horse." So yeah, we're here having some fun. We are here having some fun. Just waiting for the tournament to get kicked off now, get started up. So hopefully that will kick off pretty quick. Yeah, so this is played the $3.30 earlier tonight. This one is the $1.10. I actually play this one on a fairly regular basis, although I don't always stream it. I think I may have streamed this tournament one other time as well. So who knows? But I think we're gonna have some fun with this. I think our table is just coming up now, so I'm gonna get myself set up and get loaded on the broadcast software here. Of course, we still got our snow cam going on up there, so you can still see that I've got snow going all over the place. We are playing our $1.10 horse. There we go, just in time for the first hand. A 5-6 off that we will probably be getting rid of. I think, yes, we're going to get rid of this. We're going to add our lobby in. There's our lobby. There we go. Late registration's ending in 8 minutes now, so I'll have a quick look at at all the tournament particulars once late registration ends. Looks like we are up and live. We're getting close to that anyways. Like ace 10 suited is definitely something we want to get involved with. Nice flop for our hand, obviously. Haven't actually hit anything yet, but we've definitely got some nice flush possibilities developing. I don't think we need to cap the betting round out here necessarily. We're definitely going to call through, obviously. I think I'm just going to call through on this one. Kind of sucks that we bricked our draw. It's interesting that Boast has stopped betting as well. I think we're going to check behind with our ace high, call it showdown value. Welcome, everybody. Good to see people here on the stream. Nice to see some people logging in and checking us out. Excuse me. Excuse me. Sorry about that. I was having a cough in your ear there. We just got started. We've only played a few hands. We're still in the first level of Limit HoldEm, so literally the first level of the tournament. Still got 8 minutes to go until our next level, so we are still quite early in the day. Lost a few chips already in a hand where we busted flush draws. We were drawn out to a gut or nut flush draw, and we busted it. Ended up losing to the big blind, who defended with 5-9 offsuit and banked a 9 on the flop. So there you go. What can you do? You're going to lose chips at that stage. Deuce 9, limit hold'em. I think I can get rid of that pretty safely. Horse is one of my favorite mixed games. I love the challenge of the rotating games, of course. I specifically like Horse because it contains a lot of my favorite games. I love the Raz. I love the Stud 8. I love the Omaha 8. So I love it for that reason. I also love it because they're all limit games, and I'm happier with my limit game play than I am with my no limit play for the most part. So that's another reason why I'm happier with the Horse. The Deuce 9 isn't worth playing very often usually. Or it would be the 4-6 at this stage. There's a couple of familiar faces on the table for me. Nubero is somebody that I definitely recognize that I've played against in these horses and mixed games, and Coeur d'Alene's another one that I recognize. Both Australians, both people that I've played with in these games before. Guess my snow cam's turning into more like a streetlight cam in the evening time. Doesn't seem to come out great at night, but that's cool. I got spanked by Twitch for running music during my breaks. It was, well, that they think is a copyright violation. I'm pretty positive that I was playing it from the YouTube audio library site that they specifically say is free for use, so I'm pretty sure there were no copyright violations in what I was playing. But nonetheless, Twitch has spanked me by muting some of the previous videos that I've done in the last couple of days, at least around the breaks, quite liberally around the breaks, I should say. So if you go back and look at some of those videos, they might end up being muted. I've put an appeal in. We'll see what happens. We'll see if Twitch comes back and demutes me or what happens. Ace King, obviously we're liking this. I think we may as well cap the betting round out first round here. We have, obviously a monster pre-flop. The flop is not horrible for us. It's not great for us, not horrible for us. It's better than average, probably. We've got the queen to the gut shot, and our ace and our king are probably still live for the most part. So I think we're probably staying in the hand for now, anyways. We've seen Bosta go pretty crazy with some pretty unusual hands, and we've seen Andreas do very similar things as well up top, I think. So I'm not sure that the fact that they're capping all these rounds out is necessarily something that we need to think is indicative of their hand strength. So I think I have to see the river. I mean, I wouldn't normally be capping out with a hand like this without having hit it, but against these two guys with the way that they've been acting, I don't really see that I have a ton of choice. And I'm going to call through because, the way that he's acting, I don't necessarily think he needs to have hit anything on this board. I guess he could also be on a set of twos. But I'm definitely seeing Bosta acting fairly crazily in a lot of hands. And again, he's in the raise any mode is all that he's got on his board. It seems like bet raise any. Oh, he checks. He actually does have a check button on his client. That's almost surprised by that actually. Let me know who's watching out there. Say hello in chat. Click the follow button if you haven't already done so. This is Anything But Hold'em. Tonight we're playing some $1.10 horse. I busted out of a $3.30 horse tournament that I spent about 3 or 4 hours working to almost the final table on, and then busted out just before the final table and just before the cash, which kind of bit. But that's the way poker goes sometimes. So I figured I'd get right back up on the horse again and jump into this $1.10 horse tournament that started about an hour after I busted from the last one. So here we are again at HORSEplay Friday playing a lovely mixed game horse tournament. This weekend, Sunday. Sunday's always a big day here at Anything But Hold'em. I do the weekly round at 2, whatever the game happens to be that week. I will play it and stream it. Whether I'm good at it, bad at it, or whatever, I will use one of my tickets if I have them to jump into that and stream them. I currently have 7 tickets in reserve, so I'm playing those on Sundays for a fairly long time in the future. I think I'm obviously going to be involved in this pot with the ace-ace and the suit and the diamonds to the ace. There's obviously not the greatest low possibilities here, so there's some issues involved with that. But otherwise, I mean, I'm certainly going to see a flop with this. So Basta has just timed out and sat out. That's pretty much gin for us, obviously. We've just um, flopped the nut flush draw while flopping the nut straight. Can't really do a whole lot better than flopping the nuts with the nut redraw. It's not quite the nut redraw because I guess technically there could be somebody out there with a no, it is the nut redraw because even if somebody is out there with a jack 9, they can't draw either the 8 or the ace to um, oh no, I guess we would need the king anyways in there for of diamonds for the. So yeah, anyways, I've got the nut redraws, so I'm throwing money into this pot as much as I can. I'm still obviously on the nut straight, so I'm still obviously playing this with abandon. That's a little bit horrible for me because it might end up splitting the pot with somebody else who's got other Broadway cards. Yep, just like that. Well, no, he had the ace jack anyway, so he was in there. But definitely involved in this. Not the best flop in the world for our hand. Not a horrible one either, though. Of course. I think we're going to see one more street for sure. That means there's not going to be a low hand, so we can't really play for the low. Um, we do have a gut shot 8 to give us the 5 to 9 straight, but we don't really want to count on that, I don't think. That's the only hand that we really have possibility at this point. And there's queen fives, 9 5s, plus 9 9, queen queen that are killing us with boats at the moment. So I mean, I think we're out. That was obviously not our straight card, so getting out of dodge with this hand. No low possibilities there. The 3 diamonds also make your diamond slightly less attractive as well. So So just a reminder for everybody out there, if you have not played Horse before, Horse is a mixed game where there's 5 different games that get played in rotation. You start with Limit Hold'em, go to Limit Omaha High Low, you move to Raz, you move to Stud, and then you move to Stud 8. They're all limit games, and the amount of time you play each game for varies, of course, with each tournament with the structure. In this particular one, I believe we are on 12-minute levels. Um, in a horse-style tournament, every time you change games, the stakes also increase. It's one interesting difference between, for example, the triple stud that I played yesterday. In the triple stud variety of mixed game, the stakes don't change until you've played through all 3 varieties of studs. So you play through all 3 varieties of stud at the same stake level, and then it increases for the. So you play all 3 varieties at the next highest stake level. Horse is different. Every time we change games, we also increase the stake levels at the same time. Hopefully, Wascally Wabbit saw the message and is back watching the stream now. He was upset that he came in just at the end when I busted out of the last horse, but now we're sort of back in. Started with 1,800 chips, so not doing hugely great. We've lost some hands and got knocked down a little bit here, but not too concerned. I think we'll get these chips back. I think we'll manage to pull these chips back. I'm going to get involved with the deuce 3, I think. It's definitely a valid low hand depending on what the flop looks like. Hitting the 3 is not the thing that we wanted to see, and we're actually going to get out of the hand just because we've hit the 3, which has pretty much killed our chance of winning any part of the low pot, and 3s is not really going to win a lot of high pots for you either, so. Just going to do a bit of Twitter promotion here. So I've named this little segment Horseplay Friday. I just sent out a tweet on that using the hashtag Horseplay. And Twitter came up and helpfully provided a suggestion of Horseplay as a hashtag, which tells me that there's a lot of people out there that use Horseplay as a hashtag. And I'm thinking, with my imagination in high gear, that maybe not all those people are going to think it's necessarily about poker. But hey, that's cool. If you've come here expecting some other kind of horseplay, what the heck? Glad we have you. Glad you can be here. Got Ebony Adder on my table up at the top left. If any of you have watched the Sunday Raz tournament. You know that I've spoken about Sunday or about Ebony Adder as a Raz specialist. She plays that tournament all the time, so not hugely surprised to see her here in the horse. Deuce 3 is worth seeing a flop with, see if we've got low card possibilities and what they are, and go from there. Deuce 3, 4, 5, we're obviously liking that flop a fair bit. We haven't actually developed a hand yet, but we've developed things that smell a lot like they could be hands at some time in the future. So we will certainly want to see another street on this board anyways. I don't think raising here is going to accomplish anything other than bloating the pot in a situation where we won't necessarily hit our hand. So I think I'm just going to call behind. If I thought I could get some people off the pot by raising, I would, but I don't really think that's going to happen. The deuce obviously is not the card we were looking for. We were looking for the ace or the six, but is the deuce terrible for us? The deuce is obviously not great for us because it does hurt our low. It might give somebody else with an ace three, 3-6. Any of those already have a low. And it still means we've got draws out, and it still means that we, could easily draw into both a low and a high, depending on what comes out. The ace is something of a gin card for us. A Obviously, a 6x combination with x being a deuce to 5 is a problem for us now in the high, but at worst we're splitting with people for nut low. There's probably going to be a bunch of people splitting the nut low on us in a situation like this, but yeah, that's a good example where Capone takes us because he had the 6 when that ace came in at the end. But I mean, we took at least a quarter of the pot. It's better than taking none of the pot. Taking a quarter of the pot is better than taking none of the pot. It is, of course, not nearly as good as taking all of the pot, or half the pot, or three-quarters of the pot, but that would be simple math, as this might be another quick evening. Who knows? We'll see if we can come back from this. It has not been terribly successful so far. Pretty much everything we've tried to do has gone south. That said, we're moving close to the Raz round. Well, we're in the Raz round now, so the Raz and the stud 8 rounds are sort of where I'm gonna, in theory, shine. So that's we'll see. We'll see how that goes. But try to figure out what the eerie green glow in the sort of upper right portion of my webcam is, and I've been looking out my window trying to figure out, what sort of eerie green globular glowing thing is hanging in the sky above my condo complex. Um, I've just realized that my webcam has a little green activity light on it, which is reflecting off of the window that it's pointing, looking out of my parking lot. So there is, in fact, no green alien spaceship hanging over my condo complex. Just for the records, just in case anybody was worried about that, I've now verified that, in fact, we are not being invaded by aliens here in Medicine-Hat. I should, in fact, clarify that last statement. I do not, in fact, know that we are not being invaded by aliens here in Medicine-Hat. In fact, all I can say for certainty is that the green glowing spaceship that I thought might be aliens invading Medicine Hat was, in fact, just the activity light on my webcam. That said, maybe they're invading Medicine Hat somewhere else in the city that I'm not aware of. That's entirely possible, and I can't completely discount that possibility. So I just wanted to clarify that. It's important in scientific inquiry to be clear about both what you know and what you do not know. So I cannot say that I know Medicine Hat is not being invaded by aliens. What I can say is that the green glowing orb that I thought might be an alien spaceship is not in fact that, and is in fact just my webcam's activity light. Not thrilled with the queen back there. And I think given how early position I'm in, I could probably just get rid of this, especially with the eights. I mean, the ace is obviously a great card, but the queen eight back just really does not make it very strong. It's kind of crappy that we're down a few chips here, but it's still early days. Don't have too much to worry about yet. We got to start thinking about accumulating our chips pretty quick here, but um, we're not too panicked yet. Ended up with 40 people, 41 people total in the tournament. Currently 40 left. 6 people are getting paid with $15.18 up top and $2.25 for a sixth place min cash. I am currently sitting 32nd out of the remaining 40. One of the things I enjoy most about Horse, and this is true of all the mixed game variants, is that having the game change on you every few minutes really forces you to stay active in the game. It can be so easy. I find for myself, anyways, when I'm playing a game like, well, really any game where I'm playing the same game all the time, but especially when I'm playing hand after hand after hand of HoldEm, um, you get to the point where everything sort of looks the same, and you almost get into an autopilot mode. And there are times when I'll just kind of shake my head and realize that I've been playing at a table for 10 minutes and I've got no clue what I've done for the past 10 minutes. I don't remember any hands. I don't remember any decisions that I've made. I don't it's just a complete blur. It's all been on autopilot. And one of the things I like about playing the mixed games is that the change in the dynamic of the game just forces you to kind of jolts you into the back into it, and it means that you never get into that, or I never find myself falling into that uh, auto play mode. So it's fun to play the games that switch around for me. It's also one of the reasons why I like the high-low, because there's always different. You always have to think about the pot in at least two different ways, so it keeps you active and engaged that way. Um, got about 10 minutes to go till our first break here. Looks like at the very least I'll make the first break. There are a few people on this table that are in worse shape than I am, and, well, one person, and Derek here is in worse shape than I am. Cashman 1 might be. Cashman 1, I guess. Pair is never a good place to start in Raz, even if they're deuces. If the other card's an ace or maybe a 3 or a 4, I might consider continuing with this hand. But otherwise, it's not something that I'm going to continue except in special circumstances. Three, six, seven's pretty nice Raz hand. I think I'll get involved in that. I was thrilled with 10, but we're still doing good against Gomez, possibly against Adder as well. I think we're going to call at least one more street. I think I'm going to bet into Adder here. I think that quick call tells me that she's definitely better than what I'm showing, the 10-6. So I think probably checking behind is the best bet here. Yeah, 10-5. And it would have been a check raise had I bet there. I would have been raised 100%. I can guarantee it. Not in a stud hand, I don't think. I see some people watching. Welcome to Horseplay Friday here on Anything But Hold'em. Of course, when we play horse, there actually is some Hold'em here on Anything But Hold'em because there's a limit Hold'em portion of horse, but that's cool. We don't have a hate on for Hold'em or anything here. It's not why we're playing Anything But Hold'em here. The main reason that I play Anything But Hold'em here is because there's tons of people out there that are providing Hold'em content. You can turn on your TV and see Hold'em almost any time of the day. You can find 101 other Twitch channels streaming uh, Texas Hold'em poker. In fact, I spent most of my day watching Jamie Staples do some amazing stuff from just a couple of hours southwest of me in Lethbridge, Alberta, and doing some amazing multi-tabling of high buy-in tournaments. So it was a lot of fun with that. But yeah, and you can see the Hold'em from a lot of other people. But there's not a lot of people that are streaming things like Horse or the Triple Stud that I was in yesterday, or 8 Game, or any of the off Hold'em variants like Badoogie or 5 Card Draw or Stud High Low or games like that. So that's what I want to do here. I want to give um, I want to give a chance for people to see games that are anything, that are something other than Hold'em, and have a chance to come in and experience that. And if you've never played them before, you can learn the rules, you can learn some strategy. I'm not always going to be necessarily good at the games that I'm playing here. Um, I don't necessarily think I make the claim that I'm good at any of the games, that I'm really good at any of the games I'm going to play here. I certainly haven't made a fortune at any of the games that I'm going to play here. I'm just a recreational poker player that enjoys playing poker and enjoys playing all the different variations of poker. I do think there's some of these games that I have something of an edge on, at least in the stakes that I tend to play. Um, those being the horse, high-low, and Raz varieties. Maybe the Omaha high-low stuff, Badoogies. I probably have a bit of an edge in. Things like that. But there's stuff that I'm going to play here that I'll be freely open that I have no edge in whatsoever. Things like the 5 Card Draw game that I'm laughably bad at 5 Card Draw. And I think, if anybody plays draw games, they can come and watch me and just laugh at my 5 Card Draw game because I have no clue. I'll sit there and look at hands and I just have no clue what to draw to them. There's 3 or 4 different possibilities to, draw to, and I just have no clue. I just have no clue what to do. So it's quite humorous to watch those, and I'm pretty honest about which games I think I've got some level of where there might be some reason to listen to my strategy advice, and then the other games where I'm pretty clear that you really shouldn't be paying any attention to. Not that I have to say that because my play is pretty obvious in those cases that you shouldn't really be paying much attention to what I'm suggesting for strategy. So we're about halfway through the stud phase now. My chip stack is dwindling rather drastically. So far, it is going very poorly for me in this game. Nothing I have tried really has worked. But the only hand we've had any sort of a win with of any kind was the one that we managed to get a quarter of the pot out of with our tied low there. So it's been pretty brutal for us so far today. But hey, that's the way it goes sometimes with poker. Not much you can do. We are getting Raz hands when we're playing stud, and that's never a good sign. I'd be jumping all over this, of course, if we were in a Raz or a high-low phase at the moment, but in stud high, I mean, obviously the ace-4 club, I guess, has some value. And possibly for just a single completion, I'm probably going to call through and see another street. That just makes the odds more juicy for me, I think. There is a dead club. I really should have paid more attention. I didn't really see if there's clubs up here that died when we went out. But we're going to call through, I think, and see. Again, we're developing a great low hand, but I think we're out given that this is not a high-low game. Well, Flegen's going to be all in. Jackson nines versus queens. So Anair is crippled now, down to 244 chips. After he scolded me for taking a little bit of time while I was chatting with you nice folks in my last hand. Serves him right, damn it. I kid, of course. One event has nothing to do with the other, of course, this being poker. Looks like this might be a quick night for me. You never know where chip stack is dwindling. Nothing seems to be working. Could change. It could easily turn around for us. Chip and a chair is all you need. There's a few times in the triple stud yesterday that I was on my last legs, or so it appeared that I was on my last legs, and boom, 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 I'm back into it and ended up taking that one down. So it can happen. It can happen. It is time for the break now. So as we go into break, there are 41 people. Negative, 37 people left in the tournament. 41 people started. There are 37 people left. We are sitting at 32nd at the moment, which is pretty crappy. But we still have chips in front of us, so who knows? After the break, it's all going to turn around, and it's going to go great for us. I'll see you then. I am back. I am back. Welcome to Anything But Hold'em here with me, where we are putting out more horse puns per minute than any other poker stream on Twitch tonight, folks. I think if I can find a horse game to play tomorrow, I'm going to call the stream Beating a Dead Horse. I was playing horse all afternoon, of course. Busted just before the final table and just before the money. It's very frustrating. So I figured I'd get right back on the horse again and jump into this $1.10 that started at about 50 minutes ago at 7:10 p.m. Mountain Time. Just a reminder, 6 places being paid out, $225 for min cash, like 15, 18 up top for first. We are a long way from first with our tiny little chip stack of 787 chips. But we do still have chips in our chip stack, which means we can still make use of our chair and win the tournament, potentially. It can happen. This isn't a bad stud hand. It's not great, but it's not bad. You'd want there to be some suits in there as well, I think, but the ace-jack isn't a horrible place to start. I think we're definitely playing back at an air at this stage with the chip stack that they've got. I think it was probably worth the risk with the chips that we had. This is one I easily could have played this one aggressively and come in for the full bet with the pair of nines back here. But for some reason I like this way better. don't think I was developing as well as I wanted to, and I guess I don't think Ebony's quite as happy with their hand as they initially were. Yeah, flush is going to win. We can't beat a flush. Into the high-low game. This really, in theory, is where my skill set really lies. Stud high-low, I think, has probably got to be the game that I'm quote-unquote best at in the horse rotation, I think. I don't think the fact that I'm best at this is any indication that I'm very good at all at it. It just, this one is the one that I'm the best at compared to the rest of the games for my skill level. I think my stud high-low game is pretty solid, though, for the most part. For example, I think that a 9-10 queen is a very bad hand to play in stud high-low. Takes some pretty sharp high-low skills to be able to figure that out. I think I've got this whole high-low thing sussed now. What do you think? Another 8 minutes of stud high-low. I have a feeling, looking at my stack and looking at the stakes that we're currently at, that I am not going to see another level of limit hold'em unless without my stack going all in that time. Because I think when I get involved next, I think I need to get involved with as much aggression as I can muster in my tiny little stack. This, I think, will be that hand. We're going to come in for a full bet and see how it goes. We were actually playing against Almalt in the Sunday Raz the other night, I believe it was. Or no, it was not. It was another one of the tournaments that. Yes, it was a Sunday Raz because it was Steve-O I was watching. We're staying in this, obviously. That's not the friendliest card for us. think I need to be involved now. This could be the end of my horseplay day. Oh, 10s and 4s, I'll take that. Oh, 4s full of 10s, even better. Binkage! That's what I'm talking about. That's the sort of linkage we like here on Anything But Hold'em, folks. We just binked the crap out of that pot. Sounds kind of dirty, actually. We binked the hell out of that pot. At least we're not boinking the pot. $4 minutes left till we go to the limit hold'em round, so I guess I will survive to the limit hold'em round. We're developing a bit of a flush. The fact that we don't have two clubs down is somewhat immaterial because it looks like we're developing a flush, and that's really what matters at this point. If we get a third club as our next card, we can really go strong on the betting, and or even for the next card, and it can be quite effective. So I'm going to bet out here under the assumption that people will think that I'm playing a flush, and the 8-7-3 under the assumption that I'm playing a fairly low hand flush as well. So I think I can get a couple of folds here without necessarily having the best hand. We do have a flush, in fact, which works out well for us. We do not have a low, but then again, neither did all malt, it appears. So we have just bumped up our stack a little bit more again. So there you go, chip and a chair, folks. A couple of minutes ago, we were down at like 490 chips, and now we are just under 2,000. Not that that's a massive stack or anything, but it's playable at this point. We're not in fear for our life every time we step into a pot. You always want to have enough chips so you can make the moves that you want to make in the spots when they show up. Nothing sucks more than seeing a spot develop and realizing that you're not in a position to take advantage of it because of your chip stack or um, your because of whatever. So I think I'm more inclined to get involved with this if the queen works into a low hand somehow, but it doesn't, and it's just kind of a superfluous card, so I'm just going to get rid of it. Back into 2 pair on 4th Street here, so we're pretty happy with this hand now. We're going to put some money in the pot. Hope some other people match or try to increase our bets. Bit of a flush possibility happening over here. Don't like to see that third club in Allmalt's hand, but I think we're still putting money in. I'm fairly happy with our high, I think. We obviously don't have a low, but I think we're probably splitting this pot. Oh no, we aren't splitting this pot. Yeah, it's the way it goes sometimes. It looked like a spot where I was going to split for high, but kings and fives going to beat my nines and sixes all the time. That's why I just want to be able to have the option of just flipping one of those pairs over, because then I'd either have quad nines or quad sixes. That'd be pretty cool. There's a nice hand for S. Gomez over there. We're going to play our ace-queen off fairly aggressively here as we move into the limit hold'em phase. This is actually only the second time we've played limit hold'em. That's how long these levels are. With the ace of clubs, I don't think I'm ever going away from this pot at this point. The only real question is, am I raising here or calling? I'm probably just calling behind to see what else we bring. I think I'm calling behind here for sure. It's feeling a bit like Ebony's on a pair of some sort, but I can also easily see Ebony doing this with some sort of ace high that they think is good. Just that they think that I'm on a crap hand. So it's only chips. Ooh, pair of kings. That's a bigger pair than I was thinking they were on, so that's a very good hand. Very good hand. Well, if ace queen was good enough for us to go broke with, ace jack certainly is good enough for us to go broke with. How's that for logic? Got a better flop. I don't really think that there's any reason for us to suspect that he's on a queen, so I think we're just going to put the money in, and if we end up... wow. Well, nice turn card for us. Not so nice of a river for us. That was pretty brutal. That was pretty brutal. We have $1 in chips left after our big blind. Do you think I should be all in this hand, everybody? It's a shame you can't give me advice because I'm 3 minutes on delay. I just don't know whether I should be all in this hand or not. I just don't know whether my king 10 suited is strong enough to be all in with one chip or not. Not just one chip, $1. One lonely dollar. Wow, it's a race. It's a race I lost. So we're done. That is yet another horse we have been bucked off of today. So not a good day for our horseplay so far. We have busted out of a 330 and busted out of a $1.10 as well. So fun. But hey, that's the way poker goes sometimes. Gonna happen that way. Kind of bitey that he was on the queen deuce, but then again, he was, raising us for our one chip. So what's he gonna do? What's he gonna do? Thanks for hanging out with me again tonight. It's been about 4 hours of streaming for me today, so I think I'm probably done for the day. I'm gonna look around for some games tomorrow. I have no idea what I'm gonna play tomorrow, but I think I'm gonna try to play one of the games that I haven't played yet, which is probably gonna be something like Pot Limit Omaha, I think, which I haven't played as a high game, or maybe a Stud High. I haven't played a Stud High yet either. So I'll probably look for one of those two tomorrow and put them on the stream. But otherwise, looking forward to my big day on Sunday, where I always play the weekly round 2 starting at noon Mountain Time. I always stream our weekly challenge, which starts at 3 p.m. Mountain Time on Sunday, and that's one that no matter where I finish in it, I stream it from start to end. When I bust early, I go and find another table and I rail the rest of it, and I do commentary on the tournament until it is done. And then on Sunday evenings at 9:20, I always serve up a heaping helping of lowball poker when I play my Sunday Raz tournament. So keep the Sundays in mind and check me out tomorrow. Follow me on Twitter. Follow me below, and hope to see you again soon here on Anything But Hold'em.